People, there is a grave difference between trying to find people who are perfect with no flaws and people with a character defect. Whenever we look and we start talking about perfection, and especially I'm going to go there in the church, we look and we talk about, you hear people all the time, and especially in this day and time, nobody, all these crooked pastors, pimps in the pulpit, different things like that. And that is a grossly overstated thought process, as well as it's not accurate. I will tell you this: politician, preacher, person, period. Nobody is perfect. Not even me that's doing this video, and definitely not you that is listening to the video. We're not perfect. But there's a difference between making mistakes, having flaws, and having a character defect. In other words, that your character has become, because of your patterns of behavior, it's become your character, it's part of who you are. So whenever somebody is always hating, or their first thought is hating, or speaking derogatory against groups of people and speaking reckless, that's your behavior. That's your character. That has become your character, and that's a difference. I had somebody tell me, like, you expect him to be perfect. No, and I'm talking about the orange man. But there's a lot of people like that, and it's not about a person being perfect, especially in the church. And we've got to stop doing that. We've got to stop beating one another with scripture and then not wanting to be beat with scripture. It goes both ways. What you need to do is to really sit back and understand. When you see somebody who continually is talking reckless, like the person that so many of you elected, there, trust me, I believe it was some voter fraud, but unfortunately, it's too many of you repenting because you voted for him. And that scares me, because I don't know what you saw. I don't know what you looked at. And unfortunately, there's a lot of people that voted for him who have a character flaw about hating, and who has believed the stereotypes. That's scary. People who actually believe that all black people or all Hispanic people or all immigrants think and behave one way. It is ignorant, and I have always disliked it. I have always hated when people say, why do black people? Now, don't get me wrong. I will speak on my people. I'll speak for my people. I'll speak up for my people. But when a person asks me, why do black people? My first thought is, I don't know all black people, just like you don't know all white people. You don't know all Mexicans, Hispanics, Latinos, Asians, and Asians is Chinese, Japanese, you name it. So while we have some traits that are similar, none of us can say all. My parents used to browbeat us and get us told really quickly whenever we would say, everybody's doing it, and they'd be like, you don't know everybody. They always emphasize that. And now as an adult, I have a greater appreciation for it, because it's so ignorant on so many levels. You can never speak for all people or say all people do one thing. And the minute you do, you look like a complete fool. So when we try to look for perfect people, we look crazy. When you try to throw preachers all in one category, you look crazy. There is a difference between people with flaws and making mistakes than somebody with a character defect that is always speaking reckless. And unfortunately, that's one of the few people that you can use always with. One of the things about number 47 is that he is consistently reckless with his speech. Very few. I can't even remember a time where he has not been reckless, and that's scary. So there's a difference. Character defects is when your behavior is repetitive, unchanging, reckless, it never gets better. That becomes part of your character. People with flaws is everywhere. So give some grace just like you want to receive grace. And don't assume that people know. One of the things I do all the time is that I'm going to tell you, not because I think I'm perfect and not because I'm pointing it out, but you won't be able to walk away from me and say you didn't know. Now, what you do with it afterward, that's on you. But I always tell people, remember I was doing the voice, because you never know what people don't know, what hasn't been said to them. There are some some people who have gotten away with things for so long with bad behavior that they just think it's normal and everybody accepts it and everybody tiptoes around them. And then when they get to somebody who doesn't, they're shocked. So don't assume that people know about their behavior. Make sure you're intentional, especially if you care anything about them. Make sure you let them know. And then what they do with it is on them. However, we've got to stop looking for perfect people, because if you're looking for somebody perfect to vote for, you're not going to find it. If you're looking for somebody to agree with you on everything, you won't find it. But you've got to be able to separate mistakes and flaws from character defects. There's a difference. It's been your girl, Candy with Kim.